Hello friends and neighbors, Swaggerman Piper 1926 here. How is everybody? Doing well, I hope. This is unfortunately Monday evening. My Monday morning was not. It wasn't good, it wasn't bad, it just wasn't. Smoking my XX pipe or maybe 20 MPS. Looking at this thing kind of makes me think a little bit of on the TV show Hell on Wheels, the third season, I think. There's a pipe that's seen in and throughout the season that is kind of, flat here and kind of like this. Only I think it's meerschaum and maybe a bit bigger stem. I always thought that was kind of neat. Little did I know I'd wind up with something like that. Smoking a little bit of Captain Black Royal. A gentleman that I done some work for, matter of fact, to give me that. So we had a startup over at church. Starting up trying to push a big youth ministry Sunday evenings. Trying to push teens, a lot of your teens, because locally we've had a couple suicides here, I think in the last 6 months or so, of teenagers. And it's sad to begin with, but the pastor himself is very adamant to try and keep that from happening again, at least in our area. But I had to drive a young man home and his grandmother, who is very active in the church. And this young man, he's 17 years old, and he's got him a little girlfriend at church. And he's normally a very calm individual. Doesn't normally get too excited. But he's a little upset. And his grandmother pointed it out. So taking him home, I said, "Hey bud, how's it feel to finally have the girl of your dreams?" He said, "Great." I said, "It doesn't sound that great." And he proceeded to explain what his proverbial problem is, if you will. Apparently one of the other girls in church, who is 13, has decided that he happens to be the love of her life and is not giving him any space with his other girl. Jealousy, teenagers, Thank God I'm in my 30s. And thank God Russell's 5. But his grandmother, on the way home, who absolutely had to get to the bottom of it, was extremely upset because the little girl that he started dating thought he was mad at her, which she's a pretty sweet kid, and we got in the van, and after I'd asked him that, she said, "What is your problem?" He began, after he told us what the problem was, she said, "Well, you're going to apologize to her in the living room. I'm going to sit there and listen." I thought, man. He's like, "No, I'm not." I said, "Yes, grandmother is." She about jerked him out of the back seat. "Oh, yes, you are." And I said, "Bud, listen. You need to explain to her that it's not her fault. That you're upset over this one, over the young one, the 13-year-old. And you're going to have to go to her mother, the 13-year-old mother, and tell her to talk to her, because it just happens to be one of the pastor's daughters." And I said, "First of all, bud, you also want to make sure that it's never going to be the girl's fault." I said, "I've been married for 7 years, and it's never been my wife's fault. It's always been mine. So you're going to apologize to her." And I speak of that figuratively, because anyone who's married more than a year knows what's what. But his grandmother just wrote him bad. "You're going to call her up. You're going to sit there, and I'm going to listen to it, because I want to know. I'm going to mess." And he's like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I want to talk to her." Like, "Well, then I'm going to message her back, and I'm going to make sure you apologize to her, because she doesn't need to be treated that way." Well, folks, if I think this is the first, yeah, it is. So my wife is home, by the way. Came home Thursday. Yeah, came home Thursday. I'm sorry, came home Wednesday evening. And she had a good time, of course. Trying to get, acclimated back to American time. Still rather tired. Trying to get back in the school mind, because it's not going to be too much longer, and it's going to be, the school year is going to start. So I've got to go get busy, because I've got more work to do at the house, of course. So you folks take care of yourselves. Help a teenager out sometime. Poor things, it's wonder they put their shoes on the right feet. And remember, folks, it costs us nothing to be kind.